My name's Bart Simon. I'm a cultural sociologist, and I also study and make digital games, video games, and immersive experiences. I'm the founding director of the Milieux Institute for Arts, Culture, and Technology, Concordia, and I'm a co-lead of the Machine Agency's research group, which focuses on the cultural aspects of machine learning and AI. This evening, I want to just have a brief reflection about how games, game design, and the digital arts can help us think differently about AI and where we might be headed. Have you ever noticed how our encounters with AI seem to take the form of a test? I mean, you sit down with a large language model like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and your first impulse is to test it. Is it really as good as they say? Is it intelligent? Is it fast? Is it accurate? And often, what we really mean when we do this is, can it do the job I need it to do the same or better or faster than me? This testing is important, not just in terms of getting a sense of what AI can do, but also because there are billions of dollars riding on the outcomes of these tests. AI culture is dominated by promises and tests of promises. And to be honest, it's actually really hard to find anyone who actually uses the technology instead of just tests it. Now, sometimes it's true, when you give ChatGPT a test, it does well, it passes, which means it did what you wanted it to do. It met your expectations. Occasionally, it does better than this, and you're surprised. Wow, you say, this thing is really smart, or wow, that's kind of creative. More often, though, the test is a failure. ChatGPT gives a response that has nothing to do with what you wanted, makes no sense, or is downright wrong. This test mode is important, of course. AI companies should have to prove their worth, but it's an extremely limited way to interact with the technology. What if we relaxed our skepticism a bit and approached AI less as a shiny tech demo that could solve all our problems, and more as a technology with limitations and foibles? What if we interacted with AI as it actually works rather than how we want it to work? To do this, we have to get out of test mode. But this is harder than you think. Over the years, I often do an exercise in my class where I invite students to shout out prompts to a chatbot to talk about something to do with the course. We do this with the older, clunky, non-AI chatbots. Does anybody remember Eliza here? Or if you don't remember Eliza, Alexa? And we also do this with the so-called foundational models like ChatGPT. It doesn't matter which, because almost always within 5 minutes, the students are trying to give prompts that will break the AI. It's the most fun when the chatbot makes no sense or gives an obvious wrong answer. Everyone laughs at the chatbot's expense. If the chatbot was human, we would consider this to be quite cruel. I wondered about this laughter. Could we devise an interaction where instead of laughing at the AI, we laughed with it? And what would that mean? To explore this, 3 students in our research group, Luciano Frizera, Julia Salas, and Julia Zamboni, made a game called Picked.io, which you can actually try. I want you to try this after tonight. Anytime, if you go to the website gamepicked.io.com, you can play our game. Our game modifies a fantastic little AI project by Google Creative Lab called Quick Draw. In the Google game, you are prompted to make a quick doodle on a screen in response to a text prompt. Draw a sea turtle in under 20 seconds, for instance. The AI model, which is trained on all the previous players' sketch data, tries to guess what you draw. It's Pictionary. Our first move was to simply add a machine voice to Google's game. The voice verbalizes the guesses of the AI as opposed to just being text, but also tells the player to hurry up with their drawing and expresses embarrassment and dismay when it gets it wrong, as well as celebrates when it gets it right. It even laughs at itself. It's an old trick that even ChatGPT uses to generate empathy from a user by apologizing for its errors. Though, look, if you've ever messed with ChatGPT, then you know its apologies don't seem particularly sincere. Our goal is to try to convey the sense that the AI is playing too. In actual human Pictionary, the fun of the game comes with the laughter around making awkward drawings and bad guesses. As it turns out, an AI that can accurately guess the drawing after 2 sketch lines over and over again is certainly impressive, but also pretty boring. To expand on this, we designed a slightly different version of the game for 2 human players and the AI. In this game, one player is told what object to draw and proceeds to draw that object with their finger on a wall or on the back of the other player. That player must then draw the object that they feel on their back, or that they think they see on the wall, on the screen, and the Google AI must guess what it is. Here we combine Pictionary with the classic game of broken telephone. The AI interprets a drawing that is interpreted by another human. Miscommunication is what makes this game fun. And in this case, the AI can guess right, but still be wrong, because it depends on another player's interpretation of the first player's drawing. Our version of the game puts the human and the AI player in the same boat. In short, the players and the AI are in it together. They are collectively making the game interesting, challenging, and fun. What would be a failure in test mode has become a source of constructive interaction in game mode. Now, the moral of the story is not to be kinder to AI, but rather to do as digital artists working with new technologies have always done, to take the time and effort to appreciate and explore the limits of the technology and work with what AI can do rather than what we are promised it can do. A culture in test mode is feeding an AI bubble with promises that cannot be kept, while a culture in game mode finds actually interesting and productive uses for the technology as it is, rather than as what we are told it should be. Thank you.